to the scrim against Harbingers and Sorcery. Here on Route 66, looking like blue team is running the same comp as last time, quite a scattered comp that can do quite a lot of damage if catching anybody off guard. Red team seems to be running quite a tanky composition here that can do quite a lot of damage.
Yeah, so once again, let's just call them Sorcery for now, that is their thumbnail name. They're relying on this Hanzo. They don't have really that much of a good crowd control ultimate to combo with, but we'll be looking for those picks on the Hanzo to see if they can solidify anything.
It looks like red team is off to a great start, picking off quite a lot of doing quite a lot of damage to blue team, just absolutely pushing them back, not being able to, Sorcerer is not really able to get a hold of this situation, while Harbingers can just push in on and get any ground they want.
Yeah, Danio is being pocketed by this Mercy as well, and Kobe has been playing quite a lot of, Roadhog recently, so be looking for those hooks.
We can see the red team immediately takes a point with no contest. Absolutely beautiful on their part. Blue team not really able to do much against the comp that red team is running. They're scattered team comp, really not able to clean up anything or do anything, as Kobe just constantly gets hooks on hooks. Absolutely beautiful, cleaning up the enemy team. Mr. Marvel flying back in.
Yeah, good job from Kobe there, getting several hooks in a row. But once again, we have to look at the Sorcery's team comp and say, is this Hanzo really reliable enough? Often why a lot of pro teams don't like running this Hanzo is because of its unreliability. They've already switched to the Soldier, but they didn't really have anything to combo the Hanzo with either.
Ooh, beautiful hook coming in by Odie, but getting shielded by the red team's Zarya. Not really able to do much here. Both Reinhardts charge into each other, but blue team's Reinhardt sadly goes down as blue team tries to hold the high ground here. Another beautiful hook by Kobe, managing to hook the enemy McCree. Blue team, or caught behind red team, not really doing that well. Absolutely scattered with their team comp.
Right, and something to note in this match is, as both Ana mains, we're very triggered at the moment. There's no Ana on both teams. I mean, come on, what type of game is this? Let's be honest.
Yeah, blue team just constantly getting staggered, not even able to push as a team, just letting red team storm right through them. Harbingers doing an amazing job at keeping them away from each other.
Right, and the reason why we see a lot more Ana than Mercy, Mercy are more unreliable support than Ana. Ana brings a lot of burst healing, has the utility with that sleep dart to shot down a lot of channeled ultimates. And that's why we generally see a lot more Ana than Mercy. Mercy can be good against these anti-wombo comps, and Yada is also picked for that sort of reason as well. And Danny ends up getting a pick in the back line, and he's looking for an ultimate here.
Yeah, he got picked himself. Not looking good for red team. Blue team popping a sound barrier. Oh, and Earth Shatter coming out by Harbingers, looking pretty good, managing to do quite a lot of damage. Looks like Reinhardt's just trying to charge this Mercy, not able to really find a pick anywhere, taking so much damage himself as the blue Reinhardt ult comes out and manages to clean up a lot of this damage. Red Mercy coming out with the beautiful res, managing to get quite a few people, but Zet sitting up doing quite a lot of damage to red team. But as they clean up, blue team not really able to do much against this entire team. As soon as their Mercy went down, just a lot of composure went with that.
Yeah, Mercy res is so good because if the enemy team uses a lot of resources, the Mercy could just say, no, I'm going to use this one ultimate, and then basically neglect all the resources that you put into there.
Diva ult managing to pick out Molten, not looking good for red team, as they're mainly down two DPS and a tank. They're going to have to back up here and regroup on the blue team. Odie clearly overextending, can get picked quite easily if not careful. That looks like what they're trying to do, but not able to really get much out there. Reinhardt way overextending as well, but managing to just get out by the skin of his teeth.
Gonna look at the ults here. Molten does have that ultimate, and Danio really needs to make sure that he gets the Mercy in this team fight, so if they do get a team wipe, that Mercy wouldn't be able to get that big value res, and the team fight looks like it's about to erupt soon. McCree is on the top gun, Graviton is fired, not very good though.
Graviton is fired, not really catching anybody, not looking good for the red team with that Graviton. lot of potential wasted. Lohar does go down, so no Mercy Red coming in for blue team. Red team could just manage to clean up this team fight and absolutely dominate straight through it. Seeing as they have the Mercy Res of their own, they have much more defense. Lohar coming back into the battle. Red Barrage coming out, managing to do quite a bit of damage, and the Earth Shatter coming out from Red team, absolutely just doing so much in keeping the enemy team down. Not much happening with that McCree ult right there, not really doing much. Lohar popping the ult, managing to get 2 reses in, cleaning up, just doing a lot of damage to Red team as they're quite scattered. They still have that res, so this might be continued going on. Incoming the res, absolutely beautiful, but managing to get picked off himself, not looking good.
Yeah, the Mercy Res certainly has been an interesting tale in this game, and forwarding onto the point here, they do have that D.Va ult to use as well. Oh no, she just used it, but this is going to be very close. The spawn point is very near to the payload, so they're going to have to back off for now.
Red team's push looking absolutely crippled, having to move back. Molten trying not to get picked here as the McCree tries to take shots from quite a distance away. And Red team grouping back up, looking good.
Okay, no one really has any ultimates. Plex is the closest right now, nearly on that high noon. You can use that for a bit of zone control. It's very difficult to do that as well. Kobe is probably going to be looking for that with that hook, so it's going to be hard. He's on the high ground though.
Jaws getting his ult could possibly pop it here to be able to clean up on the enemy team. Barrier goes down. That could mean this Earth Shatter comes out. And it comes out and manages to only get the Lucio, but manages to get the kill on Lucio. D.Va just delaying on the point. Mercy gets out the res on 2 teammates that just went down. Beautiful res, but not really doing much, just seeing as Red team's able to clean up any reses that just came out. Break It Down coming out, managing to delay Red's push and just absolutely getting cleaned up. Mercy Reds comes back out, giving them another advantage to be able to try this one more time. Graviton Surge coming out, managing to get 2 of the enemy team. Rocket Barrage even coming out, doing more damage on top of that. Mercy's hiding, but doesn't have res, so won't be able to get any big plays out.
Yep. No ultimate is up for this fight though. Actually, control ult, looking for that Earth Shatter. Does get hero, does miss the charge though. So no one can really perform any big utility spells with that ultimate. Going to be looking for these skirmishes. A lot of it's going to be relying on these hooks and these charges, one-shot abilities.
So many of the blue team down. Reinhardt coming out on the solo Mercy, making sure she doesn't get that res out. And this first round will go to Harbingers.
So we've learnt one thing throughout that whole round, which is that Jaws really hates Mercy players. After seeing that Earth Shadow on the Mercy, if I was playing Mercy in that situation, I would have just thrown the keyboard out the window. I mean, come on, Jaws, have some respect for your enemy team. But seriously, looking onto that match though, the Sorcery team does go up with these wacky comps. They did make it in the end with a more meta comp, but it's interesting to both see these teams not running, and Anna is very strong in the meta at the moment, and it can facilitate a lot of these picks, but I think Team Harbingers have the perfect excuse not to run Anna, since they have a Pharah player that does play Pharah a lot, and therefore can use that Mercy to pocket it constantly. Some people even like nano boosting the Pharah as well once they have that barrage incoming. But also to Sorcery's point as well, as I said previously, they have been running these off-meta comps with these 2 snipers, Zet and Plex, like running it on the first point, and it probably shifts a lot of the momentum. They run the Tourbillon and the Symmetra before, and it's generally it's a decent comp on the first point, but once it gets destroyed, it does push a lot of ult momentum in the other team's favor, and it's difficult to work around after that.
Yes, exactly. What we're seeing from Harbingers, pretty much, they're now running the Ana, probably taking our advice in being able to get a lot of heals out on quite the tanky comp. They're running triple tank here, which is looking quite strong against the composition Sorcery's been running with the snipers.
And I think Sorcery will be looking for that combo once again. The Hanzo Zarya will be their main condition, and for Harbingers, they have quite a big wombo comp of their own. That EMP can do a lot of work of that Sombra. Once you get it down with that Earth Shadow or the Zarya, you can wipe a team instantly.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. We see Harbingers holding the high ground up here as Winston tries to jump in, but doesn't manage to actually stay on. D.Va getting hooked by the Roadhog, but the Arnonade actually getting quite a lot of the members, being able to clean that up. Good hooks coming out from Kobe once again, but not able to get the kill on the Baby Diva.
Looking at this fight though, what we've seen here is that high ground wasn't really nurtured well. Despite having those two snipers, they probably should have been in a more back position, and the Winston, so the Roadhog does manage to get a few good hooks. Kobe doing well on this Roadhog. Getting
another beautiful hook, getting out that Widow, making sure she's delayed back behind the enemy team. Their sniper comp doesn't really seem to be working for them there because Red Team's Harbinger's beautiful positioning not getting picked out by that sort of stuff.
And something to note as well, Shiz, the reason why Hanzo isn't played as much and why Widow isn't played as much with this triple tank composition, it's very hard to rip through the back line with these Hanzo and Widowmaker compositions.
Hanzo ultimate coming out along with the EMP. Ana ult on the Reinhardt, just getting out the Earth Shatter, cleaning up the enemy team.
Triple kill by
Absolutely
Jaws.
Beautiful Jaws.
Yeah, good synergy there. Plex is looking to get some outgoing picks from the high ground. But using that nano boost on the Reinhardt, usually we don't typically see a lot of it unless the enemy is CC. They satisfied that little window. Once they're all crowd controlled by the Earth Shatter, Jaws went in with the nano boost and cleaned up, got a triple kill.
Red Team with the less player advantage as Molten comes back into the battle now. Blue Team pushing in, managing to do quite a lot of damage. Gets picked, Winston gets picked by Kobe. Absolutely beautiful like Lucio versus Lucio battle over there, managing in favoring in Hero's position. Red Team just cleaning up Blue Team's push, not really able to get much out. We see Dano now running his own Widowmaker to be able to counter snipe the Widow.
I've never seen Danio play Widowmaker before, and that's probably why. He just got sniped. He is a very good Sombra and Farah player. I haven't seen much of his Widow, and Plex did a good job taking advantage, played Widow previously, and he's getting that small window of opportunity.
Zet coming behind, actually taking out Harbinger's support, not looking good for them. Their dive comp is working actually beautifully now that the Red Team is not composed and is now away from everybody else. Kobe getting some amazing hooks on the enemy team as the Lucio came in to initiate this. Blue Team coming out with their own Lucio, managing to pretty much sustain against this Red Team heavy push back out against them.
Right, and I think a lot of that stems from the Graviton serve does come out though. You can take this away, Shizzy.
Zarya gets ulted here with that Graviton. Doesn't really do much with the Graviton, but is doing quite a lot of damage. She's the only one there, not really able to do much, so leaving this this point to Team Sorcery.
I'm surprised that Plex switched over that Widowmaker, especially what he was doing against Danio. They had the Widow versus Widow matchup, and Plex taking that Widow of opportunity and beating him quite often. I don't know why he switched there.
Absolutely beautiful pun there, Racket.
Sorry.
We see Blue Team trying to stagger Red Team like what happened before, but Red Team being a bit more composed, actually able to getting picks of their own, stopping Team Sorcery from actually even being able to have the stronger push.
Props to Plex, so he is nearly on his ultimate despite switching to Tracer like not long ago, so he's doing a lot of damage in these fights. We're looking for that Winston and that Tracer to go onto the backline with that Diva, get the single target damage off and get some picks that way.
Oh, and Winston, absolutely beautiful, jumping in here, cleaning up, doing so much damage to their squishies in the backline. Absolutely beautiful from Winston jumping in here. Red Team just getting absolutely picked apart at the seams as Blue Team starts to clean up their leftover members.
Yep. Everyone seems to be dying here. The Lucio is hiding in there. Hero is doing something. I'm not sure what Hero's doing. He probably should have just jumped off the cliff in that scenario, just giving free ult charges. It isn't the best, but we give you props, Hero, for trying.
Kobe now running this Tracer, looking to possibly do high damage to these tanks, but getting picked out. Not looking quite good for Red Team right now, as they're quite staggered with how they're holding. But it is sort of the same with Blue, because they have a couple members down back at spawn, managing to not even get much contest on this cart from Red Team. Not looking good. Break it down, coming out on the Lucio by himself, 1v1ing the enemy Reinhardt. Absolutely beautiful play from Lucio.
Right, so this fight does seem to be panning out for Sorcery. They did take advantage, and the Zarya ult from Molt didn't really do much in that fight either. But Plex has his Tracer Bomb, so we'll be looking for a fight. We'll be looking for a pick for the next fight. Get that advantage down with a pick. Danio is on to Bastion, so be looking for that positioning, and Plex uses his ultimate to take down Danio. Plex hates Bastions.
It looks like blue team is just trying to snowball in here, but not looking quite good, seeing the card is as far back as it could, as it is. Probably should have saved that for a little bit later. We see blue team moving in with a beautiful and very strong push, but red team able to get their composure back. We see that ults are currently in the lead of red team, just with the Bastion coming back, doing so much damage, and the Earthshatter comes out with a Reinhardt, just absolutely cleaning up blue team's push and just crushing them.
Yeah, Jaws has really improved on Reinhardt. He was on tilt mode previously, and he played a lot of Roadhog. He was very good at Roadhog, but his transition into Reinhardt seems to have been working ever since he joined this Harbinger squad. They've moved him onto this Reinhardt role, and he seems to be getting a lot of good Earthshatters in these fights. It's really good to see players grow into different hero pools.
Zet behind enemy lines, taking out that Bastion. Absolutely beautiful. Now the red team's not going to have a high damage out for the battle, but they do. But Harbingers do have both support ultimates. Mr. Marvel going down as well. Kobe down as well. Not looking good for red team. Tactical Visor is activated, managing to clean up a lot on red team's mistakes. Blue team absolutely crushing their supports. Looking amazing on Sorcery's team. Ultimate coming out on the Bastion. Will he be able to do a lot of damage? Getting a lot of these shots blocked by the D.Va. Not really able to clean up that much. Getting some damage out. Here comes Jaws with the Reinhardt ult. Managing to actually do so much damage, cleaning up the enemy team. Not looking good. He's got a red team with a lot of teammates down, but they do have the closer spawn, so they might be able to delay this just a bit longer. Both teams now in overtime. So it's going to be going on possibly to the next round with both teams on a minute, unless blue team isn't able to clean up anything here, as Winston dives back in, back on the squishies once again, completely doing so much damage.
Tactical Visor is using the backline though, does get immediately shut down.
Absolutely beautiful cleanup coming from red team here. Harbingers getting that amazing just power play on the blue team. And that will be the game going to Harbingers once again.
Well, Shiz, you jinxed them. You said that we'll be looking for that, overtime push there. But they ended up coming through their team Harbingers, showing their composure on the last point there. And as you mentioned previously as well, that spawn point is very small, so they did have the opportunity to get those heroes that get onto the point very quickly. And as soon as they got into the point, they coordinated well, used a lot of their single target damage. Then they did run a Tracer at the end as well, so they were adapting to that change, and they did a good job stalling out for the point, and they ended up capitalizing on it and winning the game.
Absolutely beautiful by Team Harbingers here. Bad luck to Team Sorcery. Absolutely well played by both teams. It was quite an entertaining match tonight.